Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and a very good day everyone. For the first week, we are going to look at the topic of Introduction to Interactive Multimedia and Digital Literacy. So basically, before I begin, since this is your first time listening to the lecture videos, number one, there will be no video. Instead, there will only be audio of me explaining about the lecture or the topic. Number two, some of the videos have been divided into few compartments. Some are just in a very long videos, depending, how I divide and compartmentalized each lecture. So some of the weeks it'll be, listening to a few small short videos or lecture videos or lecture audios, and some you just have to listen from the beginning until the end. All right. Okay, now let us proceed with the first week lecture on the topic of interactive multimedia and digital literacy. So basically, this is the outline of the topic. Now let us look at the definition of multimedia. It consists of two words, basically, the word multi and the other word is media. So as we all know, multi means multiple. That means it can be in many ways or in various ways. Whereas the word media, it represents certain things, like a medium of delivery, like newspaper, for example, magazines, televisions, so on and so forth. So multimedia, according to Franklin Kuo, concerns the representation of mixed modes of information. Can be in a form of text, data, image, audio, and video, And multimedia communications concerns the technology required to manipulate and also to transmit and control these audiovisual signals across a communication channel. Now, multimedia also refers to the use of electronic media, yeah. For example, CD interactive, multimedia kiosk, your website, your World Wide Web, MMS, etc. Now, here are some of the definitions in terms of interactive multimedia, hypermedia, and multimedia project. I'm not going to read these for you, as I believe you can read on your own, and they are pretty self-explanatory. And as you can see here, if we were to go through the timeline, beginning in 1945 up to 1995, we can see the evolution of multimedia, how it all started, how the idea of having or engaging multimedia in our daily life and how it has transformed, and what we have is until 1995, until 1995. But then again, now it's already 21st. We are already in the 21st century. So I suppose not only that it has evolved, it has evolved rapidly. Some of the multimedia applications, like video conferencing, video on demand, groupware, home shopping, virtual reality, so on. Okay, the use of multimedia, for example, for a computer-based training. I guess it is also widely used for teaching aid, and given the current circumstance where in all institutions, whether you're in schools, whether you're in higher learning institutions, we are using multimedia in aiding the teaching and learning process, TNL, due to COVID-19. And also for referencing, if I were to share during my time, if I had to find information or list of references, we had to start from looking at encyclopedia, and from there we move on, searching for books, so on. But nowadays, everything is just within your fingertips. If you wish to find information, you can just simply open your web browsers, search, click, and there you have it. We have simulation, virtual reality, and I believe beginning 2015 onwards, people are already looking into virtual reality as part of the teaching aids for the learning, for the teaching and learning process in higher learning institutions, especially. We have virtual surgery. In fact, if I wish, if I can share with all of you, UITM succeeded in carrying out virtual surgery, I think about a couple of years ago, right, in UITM medicine faculty in Sungai Buloh. I guess the surgery was about removing, I cannot remember if whether it was removing the appendix or the tonsil. I cannot remember, either or, but it was a success, and via virtual surgery, of course. We have information kiosk. All right, so here are a few multimedia types. We have linear and also non-linear. As you can see, you can just read on your own and try to understand. Yeah, I'm not going to really lecture on each and every single thing, because number one, for this course, there will be no tests or quizzes. This is just for you to have a good understanding on what the topic is all about, so that when you embark in doing and completing the assessments, you at least have a good grasp on the subject matter. All right, so we have audio, video, graphics, animation, text, and these are the multimedia elements that will be emphasized throughout this course, because you need all of these in your website. I hope by now already you already know what this course is all about. Yeah, dimensions of multimedia, functionality, aesthetics, content usability, right? And usability, when we talk about usability, throughout this course, when you want to, once you have created or developed your website, you need to come up with some sort of usability survey test or survey. That is very important, especially in getting to know whether uh, your website is user friendly or not. So usability survey is very important. We just want to make sure that whatever that you have inserted in your website, they're all functioning well and user friendly. All right, so here are some of the extra information about learning, memory, and retention. So we have the multimedia modalities, channels, and media. Advantages of multimedia technologies: easy to use, enhanced text only messages, improves traditional audio video presentations. I guess 10 years ago, I only think, I would only think that you can only send a text message, but given today's circumstance and the evolution of technology, through WhatsApp, not only you can send a free text message, you can also send a voice message, you can also send a video message, you can also call a person, you can also video call a person, you know, and that is WhatsApp. What about Telegram? You can even create a poll, you can send stickers, now moving stickers, animated stickers, stuff like that. 10 years ago, we didn't have this, and that's why the use of the word evolution is better, you know. All right. Disadvantages of multimedia technology. Some of them are pretty expensive. In order for you to get the latest use of technology, you need to get the latest gadget, perhaps the latest handphone. And since smartphones are revolutionized every single minute, then you just have to get the latest handphone. Some of them are pretty pricey, not always easy to configure, which is true, which is even to a point that I myself, but then again, we can always sort this out by referring to YouTube or Google. That's what I always do. Requires special hardware, not always compatible when we talk about iOS and Android. Okay, digital literacy. What exactly is digital literacy? So let us look at the definition. Digital literacy requires a variety of strategies and skills. Critical thinking, communicating, collaborating, using digital tools, using to access or to design. So the importance of digital literacy. Actually, the definition of digital literacy is a combination of those four. So why do we need digital literacy? For privacy concerns, digital footprints, so on and so forth. Now, if I can just share it with you, whatever that is going on right now, yeah, about people sharing fake news, fake information, especially when it comes to important things like, COVID-19, some of the, how should I say? I don't like to use the word old people, but let's say, baby boomers, for example, who are not digital literate, therefore they will only they will only sorry they will simply share things via WhatsApp groups, false information, fake news, fake information, and that is why it's very important for us to be digital literate. Why? Because once you get a piece of information, your job is to vouch that piece of information or to verify its source. If it is true, then you share. If it is not, then you don't. But most of us, we don't have this. That is why the integration of critical thinking in digital literacy is very important. Okay, so this can be one of the reasons as to why we need to be digital literate. Okay, so here's some framework. So ICT Proficiency, what is it about? I guess you can just read on your own, right? We'll talk about information, data, and media literacies. Okay, what are these? Digital creation, problem solving, and innovation, which is digital literacy is also important for us to create or innovate, to either invent or to innovate something, to maybe to solve a problem, perhaps, or maybe to enhance something. Okay, so we also have digital communication, collaboration, participation. Like now that we are conducting ODL for most of the courses, um, that can be considered as digital communication, where we have our online classes via Google Meet, Telegram, so on and so forth. Digital learning and development, digital identity and well-being. All right. Some of the challenges of digital literacy: volume, of course. When we talk about people around the world, um, how many actually have the access to the internet, how many actually have the access to the latest technology, how many of us have the access to the use of social media on the smartphones, so on and so forth. Illusion of choice, loss of trust in media, right? Okay, sometimes what is said on media cannot be true. During my time, when digital media was not really at the top, where we still rely on some of the traditional media, like newspapers and all. We didn't have this trust issue. We simply trust information available on newspapers or television or even news. But nowadays, sometimes you just have to, um, you just have to trust for the first time. Then you just have to verify the information. Even the mainstream media, like the television, the radio, the newspapers, are also relying on this, what we call, new media. Yeah, they are relying on new media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so on. And to be very honest, I guess of late, the new media is actually getting the information quicker and faster than the mainstream media. So cognitive shortcuts, how do we evaluate online sources. These are the few tips that I can share with you, because later when you do this, when you design your website, you'll be needing this. All right. Okay. So I guess that is all for the first week lecture. The rest you can just either ask or have a discussion in our Telegram group or WhatsApp group, and also you can search for more information available online.